Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this session. So, in previous class, we looked into some of the concepts behind the DC circuits. We looked into Ohm's law, what is Ohm's law, and we also solved a few problems based on the Ohm's law. Then we looked into the different kinds of a circuit, and we started with a series circuit, and we understood the what are the characteristic of a series circuit. When resistors are connected in series, the effective resistance of that series combination is sum of the individual resistances. If three resistance R1, R2, R3 are connected in series, the effective resistance of the circuit is Rs is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. And some of the other characteristics of the DC circuits are the whatever the applied voltage to the combination series combination of the resistor is equal to the sum of the individual voltage drop across each of the resistor. That is, if the applied voltage is V and V1, V2, V3 are the voltages across R1, R2, R3 which are connected in series, the applied voltage V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Similarly, we looked into uh, 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 the power dissipated in the circuit is equal to sum of the power dissipated or consumed in the individual resistors. That is, P is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3. And the most important aspect of knowing the whether two or three resistors are connected in series or not, if same amount of current flows through all the resistors, then we know these resistors are connected in series. So one other way of knowing that is end-to-end connection. If resistors are connected end-to-end, we know they are connected in series. And the most simplest way to find whether two resistors are connected in series, just trace the path and make sure that same current is flowing. If same current is flowing in two resistors, then definitely they are connected in series. And if there is any open circuit, if there is any open circuit in that particular circuit, the current will become zero, and that circuit is called as a dead circuit. So these are some of the characteristics of a series DC circuit, and we started solving problems based on the series concept. So here we have, first you have to remember, you have to draw the circuit diagram whenever you get a statement like this. Okay, this is a statement, problem statement given in a text format. Convert that into a circuit diagram. So this is the first sentence: a lamp A connected to 110 volt source draws 0.8 amperes. So you can say R1, R2, or RA, RB, whichever convention you want to follow, you can follow. So this is the first circuit diagram, and this lamp is drawing 0.8 amperes. And what is the unknown here? Resistance. Every load in the DC circuit, I told you, you can replace with the equivalent resistor. So this, what we are going to find, the resistor of lamp A. From Ohm's law, we know that V is equal to IR. Therefore, R is equal to V divided by I. In this particular case, RA is equal to VA divided by IA. VA is 110 and current drawn is 0.8. So resistance of the first lamp is 137.5 ohms. Similarly, we are going to draw the circuit diagram for the lamp B, and this it is also connected to 110 volt supply, but it draws 0.9 amperes, means it draws more current. When it draws more current, that means its resistance is less. So these are the simple observation from our past discussion. When current drawn is more, that means resistance is less. For the same voltage, if the current drawn is more, that means the resistance is less. Now you apply the same Ohm's law. V is equal to IR, and R is equal to V by I. That is, RB is equal to VB by IB. That is 110 divided by 0.9 amperes. We get the resistance of the lamp B is 122.2. So we got the resistance of lamp A, lamp B. Now we have to connect them in series across 220 volt supply according to the problem statement. So first we will draw the circuit diagram. I have a lamp A. Either you can have a lamp picture or you can directly have a resistor. Resistor RA connected in series with resistor B. This series combination is connected across 220 volt. Now what we have to find is we have to find the voltage across the lamp A and voltage across the lamp B, that is VA and VB. This convention you can follow any convention, you need not be A and B, you can have anything you want. Just make sure that whatever convention you are using, you have the calculation according to that. Okay, you are using that notation in your calculation. Now both are connected in series across 220 volt. So the amount of current is unknown because now there are two resistances and voltage source is also known, new. So first we have to find what is the current that flows. In order to find the current, V is equal to IR is the formula. V is given and R is not directly given. So we know that these are connected in series. If two resistors are connected in series, what would be the effective resistance? It is sum of the individual resistances. So total resistance of series connected lamps RS is equal to RA plus RB. That comes as 259.7 ohm. Now you can just assume that one single resistor 259.7. If you want, you can draw the equivalent circuit here. One resistor 259.7 ohm connected to 220 volts. Now we know R, we know V. So only unknown is I. So I will write the Ohm's law. I is equal to V divided by RS. That is 220 divided by 259.7. So this is the current 0.847 ampere. That is the current that will flow in the circuit. Now, once we know the current, how much current is flowing? 0.847 amperes. That will flow through the RA, that will flow through the RB. Same amount of current will flow. Now, from Ohm's law, we know V is equal to I into R. So, I into RA is the voltage across lamp A. Then, the same current I into RB. That is the voltage across lamp B. So therefore, voltage across lamp A, VA is equal to I into RA, that is 0.847 into 137.5. That comes as VA is equal to 116.5 volts. Similarly, VB, voltage across the lamp B, is I into RB, that is 0.847 into resistance 122.2. That comes as 103.5. Now, this is how you can find the voltage across VA and voltage across the lamp A and voltage across the lamp B. Now, let us say I have calculated the voltage across lamp A. Okay, that means 116.5 is known. Is there any other way of calculating VB? Anybody? One way is we can use I into RB. Is there any other way? I know what is VA. Is there any other way to calculate VB from the characteristics of a series circuit? Which characteristic you will use so that you can find VB? Anybody?
V minus VA.
Very good, very good. Okay, we know that whatever the characteristic of the circuit is, applied voltage V will get applied across the each of the connected resistors. Therefore, V is equal to VA plus VB. Now, we already calculated VA. You can directly calculate VB as VB is equal to V minus VA. That is 220 minus 116.5. Okay, very good. We'll take the next problem. Note down the problem. All of you, please note down the problem and start working on this. If the resistance, I will explain the problem. You understand, then you start working on the problem. If the resistance of a circuit having 12 volt source is increased by 4 ohm. What the statement? If the resistance of a circuit having 12 volt source is increased by 4 ohms, the current drops by 5 ampere, 0.5 amperes. What is the original resistance of the circuit? So now, before you note down, I will explain, then you can note down. We have a one resistor, okay, resistor, and that is connected to 12 volt. I would say the value of the resistance is unknown. I would say R is connected across 12 volt. This is first circuit. in the second circuit and the current is also unknown. Let us say current is I. If that resistance is increased by 4 ohm, means what? The resistance increased by 4 ohm means R plus 4. That is the new resistance. If we increase the resistance by 4 ohm, if it becomes R plus 4 and it is connected to same 12 volt, the current will drop, means current will decrease because the resistance is increasing, current will drop by 0.5 amperes. So what would be the new current? I minus 0.5. What is the original resistance of the circuit? So what is the value of R? I hope you understood. Draw the two circuit diagrams, apply Ohm's law, okay? Then try to figure out what is the value of the resistance. Note down the problem. Okay. So first circuit, you have resistance R connected to 12 volt source. The current is I. Second circuit, the resistance value is R plus 4. R plus 4, and the new current is I minus 0.5 and the voltage applied is 12 volt. So just I will move to the next slide. I hope everybody has copied the problem statement. Okay. Now this is the original. Here we have said R naught is the original current. I naught is the original current. When we have circuit like this applied to 12 volt, I naught is the current that will flow. So if I apply the Ohm's law here, what will happen? V is equal to I naught into R naught. We don't know what is the value of R naught. We don't know what is the value of I naught. So we have two unknowns. So V is 12 is equal to I naught R naught, or I naught into R naught is equal to 12. That is the first equation. Now in the second scenario, what has happened is they increase the value of R naught by 4 ohms. Means what is the new resistance? R naught plus 4. If we increase the resistance by 4 ohm, current will decrease by 0.5 amperes. So what would be the new current in the circuit? I naught minus 0.5 is the new current. So if we draw that particular circuit, it would be like this. New resistance R is equal to R naught plus 4. New current I is equal to I naught minus 0.5, and it is connected to 12 volt. Now same thing, we will apply the Ohm's law. V is equal to IR, that is 12 is equal to, what is the current? Current is I naught minus 0.5. Current is I naught minus 0.5, and what is the value of R? R naught plus 4. So this is what the equation we are going to get. I hope everybody understood it. Did anybody does anybody have a issue in understanding this? If you understand this much, next is all mathematics. I hope everybody understood. All right. If there is no question, means I assume everybody understood. Now we multiply this. Okay, we'll simplify this equation. We get it as 12 is equal to I naught R naught plus 4 I naught minus 0.5 R naught minus 2. So when you do this multiplication, and already from equation 1, we know I naught into R naught is 12. So there are two unknowns. I can represent one unknown in terms of other unknown. So what we have to find is a resistance of this circuit, original resistance R naught. So what we can do is all the I naught variables, we can represent it as in terms of R naught. How to do that? I naught is equal to 12 by R naught. So in this equation, we will represent wherever there is a I naught, we replace it by 12 by R naught. So this is 12 is equal to, this I naught is represented by 12 by R naught into R naught plus 4 I naught, okay, I naught is 12 by R naught minus 0.5 R naught. It will be as is minus 2. Now, if you simplify this one, so this R naught will get cancelled. 12 is equal to 12, then 96 by R naught minus 0.5 R naught minus 2. So if you simplify this particular equation, you will get a R naught square plus 4 R naught minus 96 is equal to 0. Does anybody know how to solve this? What equation it is called as? R naught square plus 4 R naught minus 96 is equal to 0. What kind of
Quadratic equation.
very good quadratic equation? How do we solve the quadratic equation? What are the roots of a quadratic equation? Anybody remembers the quadratic equation? If you know this is quadratic equation, very good. There will be always two roots. Okay, R naught square means there are two roots for, means two answers for the R naught. So one of the we will see what are those answers. How to solve a quadratic equation? Quadratic equation. What is a quadratic equation? Any equation in the form of a x square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, right? Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. That's a quadratic equation, and the roots for that equation is x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac whole divided by 2a. And what is a here in this equation? A is equal to 1, b is 4, and c is minus 96. So two roots of a quadratic equation are, you can note down if you don't know, R naught is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2. So how do we get two roots here? One, first time you will use the plus sign, and for the second you will use the minus sign. That is how you will get two values. And from the our equation, we know our value of a is 1, b is 4, and c is minus 96. Therefore, minus b plus or minus square root of b square is 4 square minus 4 into a is 1 into c is minus 96. So if you divided by 2 into 1. If you solve this one, what you will get is you will get two answers. Two roots we will get. R naught is equal to minus 12 or R naught is equal to 8. If you put any of these values, this will satisfy the equation. But how to select which is the correct value? Correct value is the positive value, because resistance will never be in negative, right? We cannot have a negative resistance, so we will discard this. We will select R naught is equal to 8, that therefore R naught is equal to 8 ohm. That is the answer. And if you want to verify, now what is the value of R naught? 8 ohm. So we will go back to just to do the verification. Now what is the value of R naught? 8. So if you want to calculate the current here, what would be the current here? I naught is equal to 12 divided by 8. What would be the 12 divided by 8? What is 12 divided by 8? All of you are having calci?
1.5.
1.5. Okay. So what is the current here? 1.5 amperes. Now R naught value is increased by 4. Means R naught will become 8 plus 4. That is 12 ohm. I will go to the next circuit. So this is 12 ohm and this is 12 volt. So V is equal to IR, or I is equal to V divided by R. Now V is 12 divided by 12. 12 divided by 12, it is new current is 1 ampere. So what happened? In earlier case, it was 1.5 ampere and it is reduced by 0.5, that is 1 ampere. So whatever the answers we got, that is correct. So that is how you can do the verification. We'll go to the next problem. So this is the next problem. A 100 watt, 250 volt lamp is connected in series with 100 watt, 200 volt lamp across 250 volt supply. Calculate circuit current, means you have to find out what is the current that flows in the circuit. Voltage across each lamp, what is the voltage across the first lamp, and what is the voltage across the second lamp. Assume the lamp resistance to remain unaltered. Okay, the lamp resistance will not change with the temperature. So don't worry about that temperature aspect, just we will assume it will remain same. So this is the first lamp. They have given the specification. What is the specification? 100 watt, 250 volt. That is the specification of this particular lamp. And what is the specification of the second lamp? That is 100 watt divided by 200 volt. And these two lamps are connected in series, and that series combination is connected across 250 volt. Okay, so we have to find the current. What is the current? What is the voltage across each of these lamps? Those are the two things we have to find out. How you will start with this problem? Okay, first you have to calculate the resistances. Okay, the first thing you have to calculate, they have given the power as well as the voltage. If you remember the power equation, P is equal to V into I, or P is equal to I square R, or power P is equal to V square by R. Now, if we use the third flower, that is P is equal to V square by R. P is given and V is given. Therefore, we can rewrite the equation P is equal to V square by R as R is equal to V square by P. So, using this formula, I can find the resistance of this particular lamp. So, resistance of R1, that is the lamp 1 of 100 watt, 250 volt lamp is R1 is equal to 250 square. So this voltage, rating voltage, divided by the wattage, that is power, okay, divided by P. So we get it as 625 ohm. The first resistance, the first lamp has a resistance of 625 ohm. And similarly, we calculate the second resistance. Here you have to be very careful. In this specification of this lamp, it is 100 watt and 200 volt. So you have to use this 200 volt in this equation. Okay, R2 is equal to 200 square divided by power is 100. We get it as 400 ohm. Now both are connected in series. We know what is the effective resistance of the series resistances. It is sum of their values. Rs is equal to R1 plus R2, that is 625 plus 400, that is 1200 and 1025 ohm. That is the effective resistance of this series combination. Now current, how to find the current? V is equal to IR, or I is equal to V by R. We know the voltage, applied voltage is 250. So this series combination we have applied 250, 250 divided by the total resistance, that is 1025. We get the circuit current as 0.244 amperes. Now once we know the current, the same current will flow through both the lamps. So how to find the voltage across each lamp? That is V1 and V2. V1 is equal to I into R1. V2 is equal to I into R2. That is the voltage across the second one. Voltage across each lamp. Voltage across the first lamp, V1 is equal to I into R1. R1 value is 625. I is 0.244. The voltage across V1 is equal to 152.5, and the voltage across the second lamp, V2 is equal to I into R2, that is 0.244 into 400. We get it as V2 is equal to 97.6 volt. And as similar to the previous case, if you calculate V1, V2 can be calculated as V2 is equal to V minus V1. Okay, that is the principle of the voltage, that is applied voltage is equal to the sum of the individual drops across the series combination. In this case, V is equal to V1 plus V2. And one more thing is, if you just calculate using the I into R1 and I into R2, sometimes you will see there is a little rounding error. Both must add together to 250, but because of the rounding that you use, you will get a slightly lesser value. So next, what is the voltage drop across? This is from the question paper, one of the previous question paper. What is the voltage drop across the 150 ohm resistor in below circuit? So this is the 150 volt circuit, 150 ohm resistance. We have to find what is the voltage across this one. Now, if you see this one, there is one more resistor, one voltage source is there, another resistor, and second voltage source is there. Now, can you tell me whether these two resistors are connected in series or parallel? Anybody? Whether these two resistors, 47 ohm and 150 ohm, how they are connected? Are they in series or parallel? Okay. It is connected in how it is connected, series or parallel?
Parallel.
Yes, sir.
Okay, many have said okay. Prashant, okay, I will slow down. If you think it is fast, I will slow down. Don't worry about that. Parallel, okay. So that looking at this figure, right, this circuit diagram, it seems that they are connected in parallel, but we have to go by the principle. I told you the principle. If same amount of current is flowing, then they are connected in series. First, don't get confused about the two voltage sources. We will come back to that. But if you see, there is only one path, right? There is no way the current can change. If, let's say, 10 amperes is flowing, the same 10 amperes current will flow in this path. So whatever the current flowing in this particular resistor, same current will also flow in this particular resistor. So they are connected in series. Everybody understood why they are connected in series? Because same amount of current will flow through them, even though they are not connected end to end, because there is in between the voltage sources are there, but they are connected in series. The reason behind that is the amount of current that flows through both of them is exactly the same, and there is only one loop. When the current can change, suppose let us say I have one more resistor here and it is connected like this. What happens? The current, whatever current is coming here, it will have two paths. One path is this, another path. So that time what happens, the current that but still if it comes here, the current would be exactly the same. So that is the way the current can change. Right now if I have only one path, the same current will flow. So effective resistance of this particular circuit is sum of the two resistances, 47 plus 150. Now second part is the voltage sources. If you have a torch in your home, right? If you have a torch, if it is not a rechargeable one, if you have the old torch where you put the dry battery cells, you remember you will put some torches, you put two battery cells and some three battery cells, right? Isn't it? So what you will do, you put the first battery cell, and according to the, if you have put the positive end first, then you have the negative, then again you will put the positive end of the battery inside the torch, and similarly third one. So what happens is that particular voltage source you are increasing whenever you are connecting first battery. You put, normally it is for 1.5 volt. The minute you put the second battery, they will be in like positive, negative, positive, negative. So both together they will act like a 3 volt. Okay, 1.5 plus 1.5. If you put one more battery, excuse me, um, again positive and negative, so it will become three cells, that is 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.5, it will become 4.5 volt. If the batteries are connected in the same way, that is positive negative positive negative, they will drive the current in the same direction. If you connect them opposite, then they will try to negate each other, means they will try to force the current in the opposite direction. Now this is 22 volt, and we know that this will try to, this is a electromotive force, and what is a emf source? Emf source will make the current to circulate in the particular circuit, and the current will go, it will start from the positive end. Okay, it will go through all the loads and it will come back to the negative cell. So this 22 volt battery is trying to push the current in this direction, and this 15 volt battery, it is trying to push the current in this direction, right? So effectively what happens is, this potential source and this potential force, they are trying to push the current in the opposite direction. Effective potential, what the effective potential would be, the difference of their potentials, that is 22 minus 15. So effectively what happens is, how much voltage source we have is 22 minus 15, that is we will have the 7 volts in the circuit. Let us say if this terminal was different, means this was negative and this was positive. If this side was positive, it will try to send the current in this direction, and this is also trying to send the current in the same direction. Then what happens? Effectively the voltage source will become 15 plus 22 volts. Right now they are trying to push the current in the opposite direction. That's why the effective voltage is 22 minus 15. Okay, that is 7 volts, and current will flow in this direction. Why in that direction? Because this potential is higher, so this current will flow in this direction. So we can represent the this complete circuit with the equivalent circuit with the effective resistance 47 plus 150 volt, that is 197 ohm, and connected across a voltage source of 22 minus 15, that is 7 volts. I hope everybody understood the analogy how to. This is a very simple circuit. This is from the question paper. Mostly this is done like this to confuse. Okay, if you are clear with your concepts, then you will not get confused. And there is another way to solve this also, using once we learn the Kirchhoff laws, we can apply the Kirchhoff laws, so you don't have to worry which way the current flows, and how to take the, whether we need to add these two or subtract. You don't have to worry, so we can directly apply the KVL. Now we know what is the total resistance of the circuit, 197. What is the effective voltage of the circuit? V is equal to 22 minus 7, that is 7 volt. It is simple, one resistor 197 connected across a 7 volt resistor. Therefore the current that flows in the circuit I is equal to VE divided by RS. So that is 7 divided by 197, it will come as 0.0355 amperes. Now what was asked here? We have to find the voltage drop across the 150 ohm resistor. Now we know what is the current that is flowing. So whatever current that flows in the effective circuit, same current will flow in the this circuit also. So what is the current that is flowing? 0.355 ampere. And how to find voltage across this? The voltage across this V1 is equal to that current into 150. That is V1 is equal to I into 150. I is 0.355 into 150. We get it as V1 is equal to 5.325 volts. That is the voltage drop. Very good. Once Okay, I hope everybody understood that problem. If you have any questions, let me know. You can unmute and you can speak. All right. Okay. Next, we will look into the DC parallel circuit. DC parallel circuits. What is their characteristic? How to identify whether two circuits are in parallel. So, how we can identify whether two or more resistors are connected in parallel is by looking if they resistors are connected between two common nodes, right? In this particular example, R1, R2, R3, the resistors are connected between two common nodes, or you can, for simplicity, you can understand it as a point or a junction. So if they are connected between two common nodes, then we will say all those resistors are connected in parallel. In case of a series, it is end-to-end connection. In case of a parallel, if they are connected between the two common nodes. So this is a one common node, and this is the one common node, and all these resistors are connected between those two common nodes. When one end of each resistance is joined to a common point and the other end of each resistance is joined to another common point, so that there are as many paths for the current to flow as the number of resistances, it is called a parallel circuit. Okay, now what happens is, this is the two common points and three resistors are connected. Now whatever the current comes here, now it has got 1, 2, 3 parts. Okay, the current will get divided into three parts. So this is the parallel. So those parts are connected in parallel. Now the current I is coming here, and this current will get divided into I1, I2, and I3. So you will ask me the question, how much would be the current I1? Will it be more than I2 or less than I2? How we know that? Okay, anybody has question? Shivana? Okay. You can either put it in the message or you can unmute and you can speak. Now, so whether current I1 will be more than I2 or less than I2, or how the current I1 will be decided. So the current I1 will be decided by this resistance. If this resistance is low, more current will flow here. If this resistance is high, less current will flow here. So you can just think of these as this is the water pipe, and at this junction, three more pipes are connected. Whatever the water comes here, it has to get divided into those three pipes. So how where the water will go more, wherever the diameter of that particular pipe is more water will go, because it offers less resistance for the flow of water. And wherever the water pipe diameter is less water will go there, because it offers more resistance for the flow of the water. Similarly, whatever the current comes here, let us say 10 amperes comes here. When it comes to here, this particular junction, it has three parts. Wherever the resistance is less, suppose let's say R1 is offering less resistance compared to R2 and R3, more current will flow here. Suppose out of that 10 ampere, 5 amperes will flow here, and this one R2 offers less resistance than R3, maybe 3 amperes will go here, and remaining 2 amperes will flow through the R3. So uh, uh, they will get divided in such a way that when it comes to this node, all will add together to the same value of the current, that is 10 amperes. So 10 amperes will go into this parallel path, and 10 amperes will come out. That 10 amperes will get divided into these parts, and this can be replaced with the one single resistance. We'll see how to find this equivalent resistance of this parallel combination. And by Ohm's law, we know here this is the characteristic. We will see that one also. You can see this voltage source. It is connected across these 2 points. The meaning of that is the voltage across R1, R2 and R3 is nothing but V. So the voltage across R1, R2, R3 is exactly same, which is equal to V. Sorry. Now, by applying the Ohm's law to each of those circuits, what is the voltage across R1? Voltage across R1 is V. Therefore, the V is equal to I1 into R1, and I1 is equal to V by R1. Similarly, second resistance V is equal to I2 R2, or I2 is equal to V divided by R2, and I3 is equal to V divided by R3. This is nothing but we applied Ohm's law to each of those resistors. And what is the voltage? Voltage across all these three resistors are exactly the same. That is V. And that is how we calculated what is I1, V by R1, I2, V by R2, I3, V by R3. And we know that the total current I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Therefore, I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. And these are the values for I1, I2, I3. You replace with this. What you get is I is equal to V by R1 plus V by R2 plus V by R3. And V is common. You take it out. Therefore, I is equal to V into bracket I 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Therefore, I by V is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. This combination, whatever the value we get, we can represent it as a 1 by Rp. So this is 1 by Rp. Therefore, 1 by Rp is equal to I by V, or V is equal to I into Rp. Now, how we, this is the circuit 1. Whatever the circuit we have shown, that is how we get 1 by I by V is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 into 1 by R3. Let us consider one resistor. If I include that resistor, same amount of current will flow. That resistor is called as the equivalent resistor. So if I apply Ohm's law here, V is equal to I into Rp. V is equal to I into Rp. So what I want is I by V. I by V is nothing but 1 by Rp. From equation 1 and 2, we have same I by V, I by V. Therefore, 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Now, in case of a parallel circuits, how to find the equivalent resistance? The equivalent resistance can be found by the reciprocal of the equivalent resistance is found using the sum of the reciprocals. So therefore, 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Okay. So the reciprocal of the effective resistance of a parallel circuit is equal to sum of the reciprocals of the individual resistances. That is the statement. The main features of the parallel circuit. First one, voltage across each resistance is exactly the same. We have to remember voltage across each resistance that are connected in parallel is exactly the same. The current through any resistor is inversely proportional to its resistance. So that is from Ohm's law. What it says, current through any resistors is inversely proportional to its resistance. Means current and resistance are inversely proportional. If current is more, if more current will flow when resistance is less. Less current will flow when resistance is more. That is how the current through each resistor is inversely proportional to its resistance. Means less resistance, more current will flow in that path. More resistance, less current will flow in that particular path. The total current in the circuit is equal to sum of all the parallel branch currents. That is I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Net. The reciprocal of the total resistance is equal to sum of the reciprocals of the individual resistances. That is 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. As the number of parallel branches is increased, the total resistance of the circuit is decreased. So whenever you add a branch, right? Suppose right now, assume that you have three resistances which are connected in parallel. Let us say you have 5 ohm, 5 ohm, 5 ohm. And what is the effective resistance you get? Or you can, for simplicity, you can take it as a 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm. So what would be the effective resistance? 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1. That is 1. So what would be the effective resistance? Rp is equal to 1 ohm. You get it as 1 ohm. Let me add one more branch, that is fourth branch as the 1 ohm. Now I have 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm, 1 ohm connected in parallel. What would be the equivalent resistance? 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1. So the 1 by again 1. So what would be the effective resistance? I get it as 4. So therefore Rp is equal to 1 divided by 4. That effective resistance would be 0.25. In earlier case, when we had 3, it is actually Rp is equal to 1 by 3, that is 0.33. If you have 4 resistance of 1 ohm, the effective resistance will become 0.25. So means what? Whenever you add one branch, the effective resistance will go down. The total resistance of the circuit is always less than the smallest of the resistances. Means what? If you have let us say we have three resistance in parallel, 2 ohm, 5 ohm and 5 ohm. The Without looking at anything, you will easily you can understand the effective resistance would be less than 2 ohm. That is the least value, the smallest resistance that is connected in parallel. If n resistors of each resistance R are connected in parallel, the total resistance can be calculated as Rp is equal to R by N. Means what? The same resistors are connected. Let us say I have connected 3 ohm, 3 ohm and 3 ohm. You can directly calculate the effective resistance as Rp is equal to 3 ohm divided by number of resistors that are in parallel, that is 3. 3 divided by 3, you will get it as 1 ohm. So you don't have to worry too much about this. What you remember is 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. You will get the effective resistance. The conductances are additive. The total power dissipated in the circuit is equal to sum of the powers dissipated in the individual resistance. Similar to series circuit, the total power that is consumed or the dissipated in the circuit is equal to the individual power that will get dissipated in each of the individual resistances. That's why we know that 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Multiply both the sides, left hand and right hand, by V square. So V square by Rp is equal to V square by R1 plus V square by R2 plus V square by R3. What is V square by Rp? This is the power consumed in the circuit, total complete circuit. What is V square by R1? This is the power consumed in the resistor 1, that is P1. V square by R2, this is the power consumed in the resistor R2. V square by R3, what is this? This is the power consumed in the resistor R3, that is P3. Therefore, the total power consumed, P is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3. Okay, we will solve this problem in the next class. Okay, so here we have combination. This particular thing has a both we have to solve for the series and we have to solve for the parallel. We will look into this particular problem in the next class.